All right, let's jump right in. For years, autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, has been this incredibly complex puzzle for scientists. But what if a major piece of that puzzle isn't just about the brain's wiring, but its plumbing? Today, we're going to explore a really fascinating new idea that connects ASD to the brain's recently discovered and super important cleaning system. So yeah, let's start with the big question. What on earth is this hidden plumbing? Well, imagine your brand is a bustling city. This system is like the waste management crew that only comes out late at night, silently working to keep everything clean and running smoothly. And the craziest part? We didn't even know it existed until about a decade ago.
And that's exactly why this new research is so exciting. For so long, we focused on the traits of ASD, things like social challenges or repetitive behaviors, and we've pointed to different genetic and environmental factors. But the actual how of it, the biological mechanics, has been a real head-scratcher. This new angle, it offers a pretty compelling potential answer.
Okay, so let's meet the star of the show, the glymphatic system. It's not just a clever name, it's a fundamental process in the brain, and honestly, understanding it could be a complete game changer in neuroscience.
This system was first described back in 2012, and it's basically the brain's self-cleaning mechanism. All day long, our brain cells are working hard, and just like any factory, they produce waste. The glymphatic system's job is to flush out all that metabolic junk. This is a huge deal because it forces us to see the brain not just as complex wiring, but as an organ with critical plumbing too.
So how does this deep clean actually happen? It's a pretty elegant three-step dance. First, you have the influx. Clean cerebral spinal fluid, or CSF, gets pumped into the brain. Step 2 is exchange. This clean fluid washes through all the brain tissue, picking up all the gunk and waste. And finally, step 3, efflux. All that dirty, waste-filled fluid gets flushed out. So in, wash, and out. A simple-sounding process that is absolutely vital for a healthy brain.
Now, this whole process has a gatekeeper, and it is super important. The entire fluid exchange relies on these tiny little water channels called aquaporin 4, or AQP4 for short. They sit on supportive brain cells called astrocytes, and you can think of them as microscopic floodgates that control the flow. They make sure the whole cleaning process runs smoothly. If these gatekeepers aren't working right, the whole system can get backed up, big time.
And here is where sleep comes into the picture. And trust me, it is absolutely critical. As this quote points out, the brain's cleaning crew does its best work during our deepest, slow wave sleep. And why is that? Because during this phase, our brain cells actually shrink a bit, expanding the space between them by up to 60%. How wild is that? This gives the cleaning fluid way more room to flow and wash away all that waste. It's why a good night's sleep literally helps you clear your head.
So we've got this amazing cleaning system, and it works best when we're deeply asleep. But what happens when it can't keep up? What happens when it gets overwhelmed or just isn't working right? This is where the potential link to autism spectrum disorder really starts to come into focus.
This slide really lays it out, doesn't it? The difference is stark. On the left, in a healthy brain, everything is in balance, what scientists call homeostasis. Waste gets cleared out, things are stable. But on the right, when the system fails, you get this accumulation of neurotoxins. This can lead to chronic inflammation and start messing with the delicate connections between our brain cells.
And what kind of waste are we talking about here? Well, it's not just random fluff. We're talking about things like excess glutamate, a chemical that can actually overexcite and damage nerve cells. And we're talking about pro-inflammatory molecules called cytokines, which are kind of like the brain's alarm bells just stuck in the on position. When this stuff isn't cleared away, it creates a pretty toxic, inflamed environment.
So here's the kicker. The really crucial point is this. The consequences of a faulty cleaning system, that is, neuroinflammation and disrupted brain function, are two of the key biological features that researchers consistently find when they study the brains of individuals with ASD. The hypothesis here is that this isn't some coincidence, it's a direct link. Now, this connection gets even stronger when we bring sleep back into the equation. It looks like, for some individuals with ASD, these issues can feed into each other, creating this really nasty, self-perpetuating, vicious cycle. Okay, I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. 80%. Up to 80% of children with ASD struggle with significant chronic sleep problems. Now, given what we just learned about how essential deep sleep is for brain cleaning, this one statistic is a massive, massive piece of the puzzle. So let's trace this cycle. It often kicks off right here, with poor or disrupted sleep.
which, as we just saw, is incredibly common in ASD.
And because deep sleep is prime time for that brain-cleaning crew, that poor sleep leads directly to an underperforming glymphatic system. The cleaners just don't get the time or the right conditions to do their job. This leads to that buildup of toxins and inflammation we were talking about, which in turn can disrupt brain function even more. And that can potentially worsen the very behavioral and cognitive challenges associated with ASD. And of course, when symptoms get worse, it can be even harder to sleep, and boom, the cycle just keeps going round and round. And look, it's not just about sleep. As complicated as that is, research also points to other factors that could be putting a strain on this cleaning system. Things like certain genetic variations, exposure to environmental toxins, or even the effects of chronic stress. It's a complex picture.
But here's the really hopeful part. This new understanding isn't just about identifying a problem. It's about paving a new path forward. It's about finding a solution. This whole idea opens up entirely new ways of thinking about how to support people with ASD. And get this isn't just a theory anymore. We're talking about real, visible evidence. Scientists can now use these advanced, non-invasive imaging techniques to actually see and measure how well the glymphatic system is working in living people. And studies using this tech have already found altered fluid flow in kids with ASD, which is direct evidence supporting this connection.
This opens the door to a whole new world of potential therapies. Instead of just managing symptoms from the outside, we could one day target the underlying biology on the inside. I mean, imagine treatments designed specifically to improve sleep quality, or drugs that help those little AQP4 water channels work better, or even anti-inflammatory strategies to help calm the brain's environment. I mean, as the researchers themselves put it, this could be a revolutionary shift. It's a move away from simply managing symptoms to actually addressing a potential root cause. By helping the brain's own housekeeping system get back on track, we might be able to improve brain health in a really profound way. And that leaves us with this really powerful and honestly very hopeful question. Now look, this research is still young and there's a lot more to figure out, but this idea, the idea of restoring the brain's natural cleansing balance, of helping that hidden housekeeper do its job, well, that feels like a truly exciting new frontier in our journey to better understand and support everyone on the autism spectrum.